Luke Richardson has power from the powerlifting. He's new to the strongman, and that transition usually takes some time. He'll be up there in some of the, especially the strength events. I don't think you can come in and win a show like this without having been training it for a while and even competing in it for a while. But I'm excited to see how well he does.
He was obviously come up through the powerlifting background, unbelievable static strength, but didn't know what to do with strongman. So, you know, I've sort of told him what to do with stuff, taught him the techniques, and he's listened. He listens to what you say. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's fit, can move now. He's not perfect yet. He's not the finished article, but he's getting there. Considering the very short amount of time he's been training, these guys want to be really worried, because if he doesn't win it this year, God knows what it'll be like next year, you know. He listens to what you say, he tries things. If they don't work, he'll put them to one side, but he's trying to make himself sort of the perfect athlete, and he's already got that core of strength from the squat and the deadlift, from doing all the IPF powerlifting. He's got such a good base. He's competed before, so he knows what it's like to be in front of crowds. Not as big as this, but still, you know, he's not totally raw. And now he can move. He just needs to sort a few things out, but that'll come with time.
So for the next 8 weeks for me, it's literally just about pushing as hard as I possibly can. I want to prove that not only I deserve to be at Brits, but I deserve to be at Worlds, and I deserve to say that I'm going to win World's Strongest Man a few times in my life.
Come on! Go on, go! Keep going, drop! Come on, leave it, leave legs, come on! Come on! Keep legs!
We did loads of runs with the yoke, doing the Zerch carries, practice for the cones. We're going to have a coners next week, so looking forward to training on that. I then did 3 full runs of the comp medley, which was awful, and then moved on to stones, did some runs through with them, just kind of going from 100 to 180, again getting a stone wall built next week, so just try to make things as specific as I can, just making it through them stones today because they were tough. I hadn't done stone runs in a while, and at the end of a session like that, it was always bound to be hard, but I'm too stubborn to realise that, so still got it done. But yeah, feeling good and ready for Brits. Well, not ready yet because I've still got 8 weeks, still time to get stronger, but for a session today that was good, I enjoyed it. Well, I mean, we're 4 weeks out from Brits now, and as I see it, I need to be winning it. I want to win it, obviously. Who doesn't want to win it? Everyone there wants to win it, but you know, for me, it's making it to World's Strongest Man is a must, which means getting on the podium because there's already 5 lads going, so I can't leave that up to chance. I need to, you know, earn that qualification spot by getting on the podium, and if I could win it, obviously even better. So I'm going for it.
You've done that in 30 seconds if you want to drop it, it's like 33 seconds. Yeah, Sark's not over the line.
The platform that I've been trained to in training is like 10 centimetres high on each one, and our stones are a lot more awkward, really slippy, quite big. These stones are lovely and the platform's great, so you know, I one motioned every stone. For the first run I wasn't really rushing in between them, so it was a decent time, but for someone who's one motion every stone it can be a lot quicker, so I'm going to do another run, see if I can get it down towards kind of 20, speeding up a bit. So. On a training day, I'm 15 in here, I'm 5 in the cold. I usually stick to 3 rounds. On non-training days I like to do a little bit more just to kind of get rid of any sort of soreness or anything like that, but on training days I stick to 1 round. And obviously I've trained today, so 1 round. So obviously with 7,000 or 8,000 people shouting for you to do well, I think that, you know, I'm someone where in the moment where I'm focused, it won't really matter. I could be there doing it by myself, or I could be there doing it in front of 1 million people. It won't matter, which you basically are when it gets televised anyway. But you know, just taking that energy from the crowd and channeling it into whatever you're doing, I think that's just the key, is just to not become overwhelmed by it. So I mean, I'll only find out when I get under the lights tomorrow, but I think it'll work in my favour, definitely.
There's a massive amount of excitement about the debut of this 22-year-old Englishman. Sheffield, making his Giants debut, is Luke Richardson. Massive talent, Luke Richardson. Official Strongman Games champion, here to win. It is on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Britain's Strongest Man 2020.
Being out obviously in front of that many people in an arena that was full last night, it's weird because you only actually notice the crowd when you are walking out to start the show, and then if you get like any sort of interview stuff or after an event. During the events, you know, you can hear them, but you almost just utilise that for encouragement. You're not thinking about like the fact that you're doing it in front of loads of people. You're just purely focused on what you're doing, and then they just add to that through obviously a lot of noise.
Event 1, log lift ladder. 120 to 180 kilo logs, 75-second time limit.
It was the first event of the show, which I wasn't really bothered too much nerves-wise because I knew what I could do on the log. It'd been going really well in training. Oh well for me, you know, I've been hitting 4 logs every week without fail. And then, you know, did the 120, felt fine, did the 140, felt fine, got to 160, and when I cleaned it, it felt a bit heavy on one side, but you know, that's going to happen with wooden logs, isn't it? So I went to press it, and I actually cleaned and pressed it 3 times, and I never got the rep because I didn't lock out. So, you know, fair's fair. Magnus, I think I wanted to kill him immediately after, but then, you know, it's just how it goes. Sometimes if I didn't lock out, I didn't lock out. I need to lock out next time. You know, it was a shame. I knew as soon as the kind of log went that my chance to be in the mix for kind of the podium had gone, but you know, it's coming to terms with that and realising that you can still, you know, it's my first Brits. I was here to prove something. I think I did. So one bad event doesn't necessarily define me or my future. You know, I can get better at a log.
Know him as the junior world champion in powerlifting. Nobody has the credentials that he has coming into the sport of powerlifting. It hasn't happened in many, many years.
There's so much about Luke. He is such an exciting prospect, only 22 years of age. His biggest concern here today was coming in and being a little nervous because he's not used to this massive crowd, this level of competition. But with your help, this young man could do big things. Needs to get that on the pads.
That was so close, such a beautiful lift, but just not quite held long enough at the top. He can do this. "15 seconds. Such a fighter.
Richardson so cruel, unable to lock, devastated there, Luke Richardson. He's been knocking around the Giants crew for a number of years. He's been encapsulated within this sport, and he's just a humble individual. If you meet Luke anywhere, just a lovely guy.
Event 2, axle deadlift, 330 kilo for reps, 60-second time limit.
You know, obviously coming from powerlifting, I was more of a max guy, so my max deadlift's really good. I think that on 330 I'll be hoping for at least 10. I think that the guys to watch on the deadlift will be Bishop and Felix. You know, Bishop did 12 on 320 last year, so if it goes up 10k and he maybe loses a rep, or you know, he can keep it the same, but you know, 10 for me is something that is kind of the baseline. If I can push on, then even better, but you know, hopefully I'll surprise myself.
with the hips. So efficient.
You can see that effort really kicked in on par. Richardson is continuing slow and steady.
Be a machine. You are a machine.
There's another down for Richardson, taking the straps off, had enough, the man from Ireland.
5 seconds. Luke, when I competed in World's Strongest Man the first time, there were 12 people in the audience. It was really exhilarating. What does it feel? How do you feel pulling with nearly 10,000 people in front of you?
You know, to me, this is a childhood dream come true. So to be here in front of everyone in Sheffield, you know, it means the world to me. So thank you, everyone.
Well, that was a great effort. Everybody's proud of you, and we know you have a fantastic future. Good luck at the next event. Nice performance right in the first two.
Thanks, Kat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Luke Richardson.
The deadlift for event 2 was an axle and was stood on a platform. The weight was 330 kilos. On that setup, I said before the comp that I thought I'd get 10 because of how it's been going in training. You know, thinking back, if I'd had a bit longer after the log, and if you can't say I'd have done 10, you know, I went to pull the 10th and I wasn't strong enough to do it, so I got 9, but that wasn't far off where I was, and I definitely wasn't disappointed with it. But you know, that gave me good points, and it kind of, that put me into 5th, which is kind of back to where I knew I was going to end up being around, kind of really fighting for top 5 after my performance on the log. You know, again, just happy to go out and prove myself. You know, I'm up there with some big names, so I wanted 10. But, you know, it wasn't to be.
Event 3, duck walk and loading, 60 seconds to get all implements in the skip.
Yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of help off Darren for the loading medley. Luckily, Darren is someone who was very dynamic and, you know, athletic in strongman, so.
You've got to pick it up and lean forward. So as you forward, there. Fall forward, so bring your shoulders forward. So as you come up.
Using my strength coming from powerlifting, you know, learning the techniques off him for the duck walk and, you know, getting the right picks on the equipment. You know, I'm feeling fast a lot. It's amazing how much my athleticism has come on in the last few months. I think I'm someone who's naturally quite athletic, so it's just kind of rediscovering that from being a fat powerlifter.
Yes, on the way we go.
Plenty of power by both athletes. The question is, how fast are your feet?
Tom Stoltman looked very, very solid there, but look at that determination on Luke Richardson. Stoltman came back at him hard there as we move on to the sack.
Technique right here.
And you can hear Stoltman saying yes, 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 as he powers down the course.
And yes, he's done the sack 100 times.
Hands are off for Stoltman. That looked the fastest yet. We'll find out soon as Richardson smashes into that 35.96. And the Magor and Goliath on Luke.
40.99.
He's going to score well there also.
In training, it had been going really well. Obviously, we've been down the yard with a few of the lads training prior to it. You know, and I felt like I had the upper hand on everyone I trained with. I really did. You know, my kegs were so fast. The duck walk was good. I was quick back between. It was cool going head to head against Tom because I knew with what he'd done at Worlds is that if I could beat Tom, I'd probably win the overall on that event. During the duck walk, we were equal. I was back to the keg, and then I was quicker on the keg, and I was first back to the sandbag. You know, I think if I put in my best time, which I was capable of, I was hoping for top 3 on that, and I ended up getting 5th. You know, 5th overall, 40 seconds. You know, I was happy with that, happy enough.
Event 4, Conan's wheel, no time limit, 350 kilo in the hands, as far as you can go.
Yeah, so we've been down at the Giants Live Yard training on the kit. I have managed to break the Conan's wheel record. Obviously that's coming in fresh. You know, you're training, so you know the recovery isn't as good as a comp where I've had a week off, but then also in training I haven't done 3 events prior, so I'll have to see how I do. I'd be hoping to
match or exceed that. So getting the kind of 2 1/4, 2.5 at least.
Drives forward, Bill, and attacks the Cornland's wheel. Richardson is underway.
Nice comfort zone. Coming up on a lap. Doesn't feel a thing. Doesn't feel a thing.
Keeping moving forward. Darren Sadler telling him to keep the breaths in.
Time to bear down. Keep moving. Keep those legs moving.
Pushing so very hard. What an effort from that young man. Wow! He pushed that
Nice
with
finish.
every fibre of his soul.
He gave me 15 or 20 feet that I didn't think he had in him. He didn't want to stop.
The youngsters are bringing the thunder here in Sheffield. 22 years of age. He's been surrounded, encapsulated by strength sport throughout his life. He's only a youngster, but so much maturity in the way that he approached that. And that's big points, Bill. He did well there.
That's one of the hardest events I've ever had to fight through in my life. I could have put that down 2 meters in. That event for me was just it were all stones, to be honest. Like, that were just balls that got me around that course. As soon as I picked it up, I felt like I was going to pass out. The whole room just went away. I couldn't breathe the whole way around, and I felt like I was going to die. I think most people would have probably put it down 1/4. I got to one run and thought, this is it. Like, this is my life. I'm going to die. But I managed to eke it out, and I literally got to the point where it was resting on my hands for probably 1/4 of a turn, and my wrist isn't feeling too good today. But you know, in training, I'd been, you know, equaling Darren's record on it, which is like 2 1/3. But it just goes to show, you know, it was humbling for me, because it shows the level of kind of conditioning that you need, not necessarily fitness, but the ability to like perform at your absolute max ability for 5 events. You know, I lost half term, which on that Conan's is a lot. It's a really big apparatus, so you know, it's a long way to go around. I wasn't too disappointed. It still got me like 7th overall, but I was expecting to like be up there for winning that. And I think a few of the other guys were quite surprised too. You know, there was 2.5 being thrown out, which is what I kind of thought I was capable of too, and everyone seemed to come a bit short. But you're gonna, after that, you know, it's brutal. You've done 3 events before it, and that is not fun at all.
Event 5 at the Stones, 100 kilo to 180 kilo, 60-second time limit, fastest 5 stones onto the clips.
Ladies and gentlemen, in lane number 1, hailing from Yorkshire, England, only to raise it up for Luke Richardson. And in lane number 2, he hails from north of the border. Let's hear it, raise it up and rip it up for the Highland of Luke Strongman. Here we go, Sheffield, it is on. Stoltman fires the first stone up and the second like it's made of paper. 3 flies onto the platform, and 4 for Stoltman. Wow! Luke Stoltman is ferocious, and there's the massive effort. The Highland Oak blows through the stones. Luke Richardson annihilates the stones. Wow! Wow! It is a light, and we cannot put it out.
What a race. Luke, first time at British, came out here and brought some game. Tell us about those stones. You won motion number 4, and 5 was easy. What's up with this? What's up with the future? How does it feel? Do you enjoy all this?
You know, being here, I said earlier, it's a dream, it's amazing. It's a privilege to be here competing with, you know, my heroes. I've grown up looking up to all these lads, so, you know, to be here and proving myself now, just need to keep getting better.
Well, it's going to get better for you, and there's going to come a time when you're standing on top of the podium, not only here at British, but then Europeans and beyond. Are you ready for all that?
I'm ready, yeah. I was born to do this, yeah.
I love it, Rich. I love it. what you say, you're born to do it. Good luck in the future. You really showed us a lot tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kaz, and thank you to everyone here as well. Thank you.
Luke Richardson, and a phenomenon.